The taste of home on your esteemed tongue! Wine! God bless you, sir.
What are you doing here, Goodman?
What does it look like? I'm handing out wine from my vineyard.
You're giving it away for free?
My vineyard is new, and the folks in this town are damn stubborn. So I figured I'd pour a cask or two into them, and maybe they'd get a taste for it. What about your good self? Would you like to try it?
Free wine? I'd be a fool to say no to that.
My thoughts exactly, Goodman. Here you are. To your health. I'm curious what you'll think of it.
Oh, are you sure that's wine you poured me? This tastes like... Well, how should I say it?
Forgive me, Goodman, but say no more. In Vino Virilitas, and the truth in my wine is that I'm a fool, an idiot whose wife is cuckolding him, whose children can't stand him, and even the dog pisses in his boots every morning. And my wine tastes like dog piss as well. I never should have bought that damned vineyard. If it wasn't for those fucking monks selling their wine everywhere they can, I might have a chance. Not like this.
Is there anything I could do to help you?
With the dog pissing in my boots? Well, I'm not sure. I tried sticking his snout in it, putting pepper in my boots, and nothing worked. Piss in my boots again the next morning.
I meant your business troubles.
Oh, I see. Maybe you could. If you're not from around here, that is.
No, I'm not.
Allow me to introduce myself. Caspar Rudolph, vineyard owner and a not very successful wine seller.
I'm Henry.
Maybe you could help me, Henry. I'm looking for someone who's not well known in Kuttenberg. Someone who can pretend to be someone else, if you know what I mean.
Sure, why not? If all you need is someone folk won't recognize.
The monks in Setlet's monastery make excellent wine. They call it the monastery secret. People can't get enough of it, and I can't figure out what their secret is. But I intend to find out.
Right, I understand what you want from me. But if it's a secret, it won't be easy.
No, it won't. But don't worry, I have a plan. The custodian of the monastery vineyard has a relative in town, an innkeeper called Havel. And this Havel is a real know-it-all when it comes to wine. He really likes to boast about it. If you were to pose as a sommelier who's just come back from abroad, I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to you, and maybe he'll reveal something.
You want me to be smellier? I don't see how that could make a good impression on him.
Not smellier, sommelier. It's a wine expert. Just act intelligent and use some foreign words. It'll be easy. I have some books about wine at home. Maybe you could read through them. You do know how to read, right? Havel's a bit thick anyway, so it won't be hard to impress him.
The book might come in handy. Can I borrow it?
When I said I have it, that wasn't, entirely accurate.
What's the truth, then?
The book belongs to me, but I lent it to someone, and she hasn't given it back yet. Miss Adleta Manlica should have it. I lent it to her during our... let's call it our friendship, which has come to an end.
Didn't you say you're married?
What has that to do with anything?
Oh, I'm sure your wife wouldn't mind if you asked an old girlfriend to return a book you lent her.
Oh dear. Adleta used to have rather more friends than might be expected of a respectable young woman. But her family's patience ran out, so they arranged her marriage and put an end to her dalliances. Since then, Adleta has been confined to her room and guarded like the crown jewels.
And you want me to break in?
Well, yes. Master Swordsmith Manlicher has a house in Lethlilskar Street. Adleta is either locked in her room or walks in the gardens behind the Italian court, where she is guarded by her brother. The Manlichers don't want any more problems.
It doesn't matter. I'll find a way to get the book back.
Great! Any more questions?
Do you have any idea what this secret might be?
They're monks, so it could be anything. Maybe they put the crushed-up bones of saints in it, or they sing hymns to the wine. How should I know?
Do Do you really think Havel would just tell me the secret? You don't even know if he actually knows it. Or it might just be a rumor.
Havel really is a bit thick. Either the monks have a secret and Havel will tell you, or there's no secret and Havel will confirm it.
I'll get right on it then.
Excellent. And don't forget, making an impression is the main thing. You look like you can handle it. Good luck. See you later, my friend.
Go away, lad! Guten Tag. Was brauchst du?
I'd like to go into the gardens. Why are you on guard here?
I'm afraid my sister is resting in the gardens and doesn't wish to be disturbed.
Do these gardens belong to you, so you can decide who goes in?
Like I said, my sister doesn't want to be disturbed, and my father, Master Mannlicher, doesn't want it either.
That's a very fine sword you have, Goodman.
And so it should be. It was made by my father, a master swordsmith.
Well, you can tell it's perfectly balanced at first glance. I may not be able to see the blade, but the way the hilt is fitted is clearly the work of a master craftsman.
It seems you know your stuff, good man.
I'm an apprentice swordsmith.
For someone from Kuttenberg? I'm surprised I haven't seen you before.
No, my master is Martin Menschy from Prague. We're just traveling north. My master wants to deliver a piece in person.
You don't say. Master Menschy is in Kuttenberg? Do you think I could talk to him? I admire his work, and so does my father.
Of course. Come to the Hangman's Halter Tavern. My master will be pleased to have company.
Thanks. If you want to enter the gardens, go ahead. Just keep away from my sister. My father has forbidden her to speak to men.
Don't worry. I'll give you my word as a swordsmith.
Wiedersehen.
Are you Miss Adletta?
That's me. And what is your name, you handsome fellow?
Henry.
A nice name. But I have to warn you, I won't be a miss for much longer. Seeing you here makes me regret that a little, though.
The pleasure's all mine. I'm here on behalf of Caspar Rudolph. It's about the book he lent you.
Caspar? Oh, the poor thing got a proper hiding from my father. How is he?
He's well. His wine business is flourishing.
I know perfectly well that it's not flourishing. But I'm glad Caspar at least has good friends.
What about that book? Do you have it?
When we were friends, he gifted me that book. There was no mention of it being on loan. And now he wants it back all of a sudden?
No offense, miss, but are you even interested in a treatise on wine?
Of course not. But Caspar kept going on about it, and I wanted to make him happy. Since I've been locked up here, I've even tried to read it out of sheer boredom, so that I don't have to embroider all the time.
If you like reading, I can recommend some books you might enjoy more.
Oh, do tell. I like to broaden my horizons, although I doubt the books will be easy to find.
How about The Story of the Heart by Conrad of Würzburg?
What's it about?
Now, if I tell you, I'll ruin the surprise for you. But in short, it's about a love triangle, and one of the characters eats a human heart. I think you'll like it. In the work, Conrad espouses the beauty of true love over the false love of an arranged marriage.
It's like you can read my mind. I've read that tedious wine book anyway, so you can take it.
Thank you, miss.
Farewell, Henry. Never forget me.
Milk and cheese here. Fresh milk. No cheese.
A fine day for some farm. Who was the last mass? I didn't see there.
Eggs. Fresh eggs.
Greetings.
Milk eggs. Big and small.
Pavel, the owner of the local inn, I assume?
That I am. How can I help you?
When I asked where I should go in this city for good wine, your inn was recommended.
You've come to the right place. You won't find better wine in this city. Have you come from far away?
Very far, Goodman. I'm Henry, and I rarely hear my name spoken in my native tongue.
Mine has an unusual ingredient in it. Let's see if you can tell what it is.
I travelled around France.
Wonderful! It's not often I get the chance to talk to someone so well-travelled. It'd be nice to have someone to discuss the drink of kings with.
An invitation I can't refuse. Thank you.
Well, good man, how shall we begin our tasting? Ah, I know. How about a little white to begin with?
Excellent.
Here it comes.
So, what do you say to that?
Hints of vanilla. That's uncommon. And I have to say, that greenish spring colour is perfect.
You're right. A rare flavour and colour tone. It's essentially a lighter wine. I like it because it's suitable for many occasions. When I don't know what to serve, I pull out a Moravian white. My father-in-law loves it. He'll be a blessed 70 years old this year, so I'm giving him a few casks to make his old age a little merrier.
That's very kind of you.
There's nothing but misers in this town. They wouldn't think twice about taking their own mother's last piece of bread. I'm not like that. Do I have money? Of course. But I don't hoard it. I try to make people around me happy.
And you're treating me to this wine. You're a real Samaritan. And like it says in the Bible, you give drink to the thirsty.
Anyway, let's have a cup of something else.
My thoughts exactly.
What shall we... Ah, I know. Let's have some red. How about a young Blaufränkisch from Austria? Or as we call it in Bohemia, Blue Frankovka.
From you, Goodman, anything. Pour away.
I'll be right with you.
Quite a decent vintage.
Oof. Rather bitter.
Bitter, yes. But it is a young wine.
All right, but the colour. It's not blue at all. More of a purple. That doesn't seem right.
It's not supposed to be blue. The name is a reference to it not being as red as other wines. It's more a play on words.
Ah, forgive me. I've never heard of such a wine.
Don't worry. Nobody knows everything, except for my wife. If you've travelled so widely, tell me, in France, what wine do they appreciate the most? And I don't mean what wealthy nobility think, but what true connoisseurs like you and me appreciate.
Chardonnay, definitely.
But that's the type of grape. I mean the type of wine. I surely don't have to tell you the grape variety is only half the taste.
Well, it's hard to come up with something off the top of my head, but I do enjoy this variety.
Ah, well, never mind. Let's carry on. Well then, let's move on to the next one. After all that quality stuff, let's refresh ourselves with something simpler. Would you like a hippocras?
Certainly. The better ones will go straight to our heads, and I'll admit, I do like it from time to time.
Nothing to be ashamed of. It's not easy to make a good hippocras. Mine has an unusual ingredient in it. Let's see if you can tell what it is.
I don't know. I'd say it's made with love?
Of course it is. But I meant a real ingredient, not some poetic nonsense.
Well, in that case, I couldn't tell you.
It's not that difficult. It's mint. But there's something off about it. Doesn't it seem a bit bland to you? As though it's missing something?
A tankard of ale, thanks.
Ginger. It's missing ginger.
But of course. The cook told me they didn't have any at the market. You have a refined tongue, good man. I'll give you that. After that hippocras, we should have something more high class. I've got a rare Hungarian wine from Eger. Very strong and very sweet.
Bring it on. This is no time for weak wine.
My thoughts exactly. So what do you think? Good, isn't it?
Time again.
Very good and very red. Besides that, it has a sort of raised taste at the end of the tongue.
Raised taste? What do you mean?
It's hard to explain, but it really is very red.
As anyone can see at first glance. What will you tell me next? That the sky is blue?
And isn't it?
I drank this particular wine from Eger at a banquet held to celebrate the new city council. Hungarian government, Hungarian wine, and Hungarian delicacies. I was so looking forward to enjoying some nice Hungarian sausages or pate, but I ended up leaving disappointed.
How so?
They started bringing out melons, apples, plums, and all sorts of other fruit. And finally, they served fish. I don't eat fish, and fruit makes me burp. So I went hungry at a feast.
Well, that's very unusual. Fruit, fish, and red wine. Maybe it's some sort of Hungarian custom.
I was so disappointed that I wanted to make myself something at home to get rid of the taste. But I was so drunk that I fell asleep. The housekeeper woke me up, and what can I tell you? The porridge was charcoal, the kitchen was like a smokehouse, and I had egg on my face.
So, what's next?
Next? You drink like a fish, Goodman. I don't think I have anything else you might be interested in. Regardless, I have some work to do. Feel free to stay in my tavern and enjoy yourself.
Allow me to ask you one more question. I heard you get your supplies from the monastery vineyard.
And what of it? You're not a tax collector, are you?
No, I really am not.
I don't believe a word you say. So let's be clear, you sneak. My business with the monastery vineyard is all above board. Everything is set down in my ledger upstairs, and until I see your credentials, it's none of your business.
Don't get worked up. I'm not a tax collector.
I don't care. You're snooping around, sticking your nose where it don't belong. I've nothing more to say to you.
Maybe I should go and take a look around his office. His ledger is bound to be interesting.
The best wine! Good day. What would you like?
I spoke to Havel.
And? How did it go?
I had a look around his office to see what I could see.
Well, I can't say I approve, but if you found something interesting...
I did indeed. It looks like a ledger of some sort.
Give it here. Let me have a look. 20 barrels of Rhine Riesling, 24 new barrels from the Cooper, 13 crates of Hungarian grapes for St. Gallus Day. Ah, here we are. It seems they ordered some sort of special incense that they burn in the barrels. That must be it.
What good would that do?
How should I know? What's interesting is that this isn't normally part of the winemaking process, so it might be just what we're looking for. Right, and here's a small reward so you don't go around saying old Casper's ungrateful. But now I need you to look into it further. We need to find out what this special incense is for. We'll have to take a look in the vineyard and take some of that incense.
We, meaning me, right?
Of course I mean you. See how well we understand each other?
All right. But the vineyard is pretty big, isn't it? I haven't a clue where to look for something like that.
It's big, true. But there's a vineyard house right in the middle. The custodian lives there, as well as the workers. And it's also where all the supplies are stored. Besides, there's also a side garden where they grow new varieties of grapes. If you could manage to bring me a few seedlings, they could greatly help my own vineyard.
Where exactly is the vineyard?
A short way to the north of town. It's pretty large, you can't miss it.
How do I get in? Isn't it guarded?
The simplest thing would be to get hired as a laborer. There'll be lots of work there now that it's summer.
What if they catch me?
You have to be careful. The vineyard is closely guarded, especially at night, and thieves are punished very severely. Don't get caught.
I'm on it then.
Good luck, and take care, Henry. By the way, what about the business with the Manlikas? Did you manage to get hold of the book by Bouchek?
Yes, Miss Adletter is sweet. And she even gave me back your book. Here it is.
Ah, thanks very much. I'll try to sell it and pay off at least some of my debts. God be with you, good sir.
The best wine in Württemberg.
Are you hiring?
Us? Always. But don't be fooled. It's hard work. Days spent bent over in the sun. It's not for everybody. But you'll get a few groschen, something to eat, and a place to lay your head.
That sounds good.
I'll tell you tomorrow. For now, go and speak to the custodian, Jerome. He'll tell you what to do. Any questions?
What's in that building in the middle of the vineyard?
Vineyards aren't just vines. They need a place to sort, press, and wash the grapes. And we also need a place to lay our heads. We spend half a year up on this scorching hill after all.
What's the master custodian like?
Jerome? He's my cousin, and he gave me this job. Can't complain about him.
And the others?
I don't know, but I've never heard any complaints. You'll see for yourself soon enough.
What if I'm not up to it?
You have 2 arms and 2 legs, and that's all you need. The only thing we won't tolerate is someone slacking off. We have a lot of blow-ins, so don't expect any breaks. If you laze about for even a day, you'll be out of here. Understand?
I understand. I'll be going then.
All right, run along. Jerome will be waiting near the winery. And remember, wine is liquid gold, so we keep everything well guarded.
Don't worry. I don't steal.
I have to say that because we do get light-fingered individuals here from time to time. And now you know everything, off you go to work. Farewell, my friend.
God be with you.
Keep the peace. Stay fresh.
I'm supposed to report to you. I'm new here.
Excellent. Another young shoot ready to sprout and produce the delicious fruits of labor.
What?
Oh, nothing, lad. I'm just admiring your youth and the joyful energy you surely bring with you. But that's not why you're here.
I was sent to ask what you want me to do.
You'll start today. Because why wait? There are a few hours left before the velvet blanket of night covers our vineyard.
Of course. I'll get to work then.
Excellent. What enthusiasm! What vigor! As our youngest laborer, you will be in charge of the eternal battle against the weeds that choke our beautiful plants. As soon as you spot one, imagine you're King David and uproot that evil from our land forever, just as he uprooted the Philistines from Israel.
If you hand me a slingshot, I can take on Goliath.
We hand out slingshots in autumn when we have trouble with starlings. Apart from that, you'll sometimes see a sack at the end of a row. In it are clippings and bad plants which you will take to the dung heap behind the winery here, where their earthly existence ends in the process known as decay.
All right. That doesn't sound too complicated. Weeding and organising a funeral for some plants.
To tell the truth, lad, work in the vineyard isn't complicated, but it is hard. I therefore suggest you don the vintner's crown, a straw hat. Do you have any other questions?
I'll get to it then.
May God bless your work. On you go, lad.
This crate smells like sulfur. This could be it.
Taste of home on your esteemed tongue! Good afternoon, sir.
I'm back, and I've got the mysterious monastery incense. It looks like wood chips soaked in sulfur. It stinks a bit.
They were smoking barrels with this. Sulfur is the stink of hell, and this is a monastery vineyard.
Maybe there's another reason. The miners in Skalitz used to say where there's sulfur, it's easier to breathe. Healthier air.
But it stinks to high hell.
So do many noble delicacies, and they're still delicious.
I suppose you're right. I'll give it a try. I hope it doesn't make my wine reek. Here's your reward, like we agreed, and something to read. I don't want you saying I didn't do you right.
I almost forgot. I have the seedlings.
Ah! I'm curious what they'll grow into. You've made me doubly happy, Henry. So, here's a little something on top for you. Farewell, good sir. Taste the delicious Kuttenberg wine from the best grapes ripened in the Czech sun. Taste the delicious Kuttenberg wine from the best grapes ripened in the Czech sun.